Hello, I'm Tom Campbell of Campbell Law. We're at a home in Birmingham, Alabama today, and I'm going to show you how quickly a termite inspector could have told that this house had a termite infestation, and since they were considering putting it under a termite bond, that it did not have an adequate termite treatment to start with, and why it doesn't have an adequate termite treatment now. You can determine this literally before you ring the doorbell. The termite inspector should be able to tell from no farther away from the house than I am right now that this house has never been treated. You can look at the garage slab and see that there are no drill holes every 12 to 18 inches through which they should have injected termite chemical in the soil. What you can see here is that there are no drill holes through this slab next to the foundation. Those need to be drilled every 12 to 18 inches depending on the chemical, and then they need to use a rod to inject termite chemical in the ground under pressure. The other problem they know is that this is a dirt-filled planter box, and what this has done is it's raised the dirt outside the house above the wood in this structural wall that supports the roof of this house. Now when you inspect this house as well, one of the things they should have done was drill a drill hole through this brick at the end of every other brick and used a rod to inject chemical under pressure to treat the void behind the brick and in front of the sheathing on the wall. What they also should have done here is to dig a trench 6 inches wide and 6 inches deep and flooded that valley with termite chemical and saturated the soil as it was placed back up against the foundation. And as you can see here, they scratched the surface for about 1.5 inches and did not make a trench deep enough to hold the required volume of chemical. The problem with that is, if you don't have sufficient chemical in the soil, you don't have enough of the chemical there to create a termite barrier. When the termite inspector came to this home, they should be looking around at every crevice and every surface in the home to see if there's dirt that would indicate that termites have tunneled up from the ground. And before knocking on this door, you can look down to your left and see a termite tunnel actually on the red door that they're going to have to knock on to greet the homeowner. Before this inspector knocked on this door, he could look down and see what looks like just some splattered mud here. To a termite professional, they know that this dirt may be a termite tunnel, and when you greet the homeowner and say hello, you see that's exactly what it is. The unfortunate person who bought this home for his wife and newborn baby scratched the paint that was also blistered off the bottom to find massive termite tunnels. What we're looking at in here is that termites have come up through the ground in this bathroom and come up a stud and gone across and eaten the wood out in the structural support for this bathroom, what used to be a bathroom shower stall. In this bathroom there was a separate pour of the slab for the main bathroom floor, and to build that slab they built a box with wood to pour the concrete in between it, and when that happens, builders often fail to remove the wood. It's called a form board in there where they form in the concrete. What happened here was the ground under this slab either did not have a termite barrier or it wore off over the years. The termites started eating this form board and then came up into the structural wood of the house and ate out this king stud that supports the attic and the structural weight of the roof system in this home.
This house we're in not only involved a real estate closing inspection, but also they inspected it to issue a termite protection bond on the house. Their defense in this case is going to be, well, we could never have seen that damage and that activity from these termite tubes you see here, because that was behind where a shelf was in this closet. But they certainly could have seen this tube right under that shelf. That would have led them to probing and sounding this suspect area, which would have found the damage in this shelving that was removed in this dark spot. There's also above here an exit hole in the sheetrock in the ceiling with mud in it, which shows signs of termite activity. Had the termite company on this real estate closing and bond issuance inspection sounded and probed the casings around this closet, they would have, the wood would look solid, but when you turn it around, if you tap on it, they would have discovered that it was hollow, full of dirt. Dirt would have fallen out. Had they checked this sheetrock, there's a procedure they use in inspections where you can sound on sheetrock. You can also do a thing called shadowing, where you turn the lights off and you place your flashlight along the sheetrock so that you can see disfigurements in the smoothness of the surface that might indicate termite tubes. If you find such as that, you can tap on it and you'll hear dirt falling behind the sheetrock where termites are on the back of the sheetrock, as we saw earlier. That's called termite rain. Sometimes you can hear that noise. So there are ways to look for hidden damage in a termite inspection.
You can see that this side of this board looks solid from this side of the wall to the naked eye, even though this used to be covered up with sheetrock on both sides. When you look at this same wall from the other side with the sheetrock removed, you can see that the termites have hollowed out the wood and made termite tunnels all over it. Sometimes a termite company will tell you they can't inspect your attic because you have insulation on uncovered ceiling joists. That's not accurate. Where there's a will, there's a way. These are called crawl boards, and you put a handle on it and you put it on the ceiling joists and you put one after another. You can go anywhere in the attic you need to go to inspect safely. One of the things you can do to see if your own home has received a comprehensive termite treatment is to look for drill holes where they should be in the brick veneer outside your home. And in this home, what they needed to do was to treat under the slab by drilling a hole both through the brick and then through the concrete block wall foundation. And so to do that, you need to find the bottom of the slab. So you look at where the slab is inside and count 2 bricks down from that, because bricks are a little bit over 2 inches with the mortar and a slab's 4 inches deep. So you locate that course of brick and then follow that course of brick all the way around your house and look for drill holes every 12 inches below that location in your wall. Termite companies may tell you that your slab can't be treated because it would require down drilling through wood floors or other floor coverings. However, if the ground outside is below that slab, they can drill through the exterior of your home and put the treatment rods in under your slab from outside your home. So don't take that excuse. The other thing that's required for a proper termite treatment is that the chemical needs to saturate the soil 6 inches away from the foundation, not just in a valley at the top, but all the way down to the footer. The footer is the concrete pad that's poured before they build your foundation wall, and that supports your foundation wall. And with all that weight on it, they crack, and termites come through those pieces of concrete and infest your house. So what we've done here is we've dug down to demonstrate that this footer is about 18 inches below the former exterior grade of the soil. What the termite company did here was they just scratched the surface of the soil to pretend that they were digging a trench. The fact they didn't dig a 6-inch trench is reflected by the fact that these weeds next to the foundation still have their roots attached to the soil. So the chance that they did a proper termite treatment when they charged hundreds of dollars to protect this home is zero. What we're demonstrating here is that this used to be the outside brick veneer on the property. And we mentioned earlier that you need to treat behind this brick. And the idea is that what you're doing is you want termite chemicals to go behind this brick veneer because there's a hidden void there that termites can climb up undetected to infest your house. And they only need a space 1/32 of an inch between this brick and the waterproofing on your house or moisture barrier to infest your house with termites. So that's why they need to drill through the mortar, inject termite chemical in here to create a barrier that will kill termites and keep them from damaging your home.
This is Taylor Abbott, and I'm here with Tom Campbell and the rest of the Campbell Law Firm. And we want to let you know that if your inspector shows up dressed better than we're dressed today, then there's something wrong and you ought to start asking questions.
People ask us all the time, when should I call a lawyer about my termite problem? The answer is, if you're asking yourself that question, you need to call a lawyer. But more generally, if your termite company is not treating you fairly, call a lawyer. If your termite company will not tear open your walls to find all the damage, call a lawyer. If the termite company says for any reason they're not responsible for paying your claim, including the fact that you don't have a termite repair warranty, or it doesn't cover Formosan termites, or it was caused by moisture, or you dug up the termite barrier, or you failed to pay your last premium, or your bond has lapsed, you need to call a lawyer who's knowledgeable with handling claims against termite companies. At Campbell Law, we evaluate claims nationwide, so if we can help you, feel free to give us a call.